All right, Ryan. Hey, thanks so much for hopping on this call. I know you've been using our products with your dog for a little while, but I want you to talk about what happened in the very beginning that even got you looking for some canine cancer support supplements.
Sure. Thanks for having me. So Irie was diagnosed with a anal sac tumor in February of 2024, early February, and I it shocked me. I wasn't expecting it, um, so I had to go to a specialist, and then they did an ultrasound and found out it had metastasized into her lymph nodes.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, So I was supposed to do a CT scan, and I opted after I did a bunch of research because they're talking to you and they're just going in one ear out the other. I just was in shock. Got home and just started researching, knowing that it had moved that fast, I just wanted to get it out.
Hmm.
So I opted. I called him back the next day and just said, "Hey, I have an appointment next week for a CT scan. I don't. I'd rather just come in and go straight to surgery and have it removed." And they're like, well, you can't pinpoint the lymph nodes, but we can, try our best once we're in. And I was like, let's just get in and get everything out, and then I'll deal with the after effects, or and if I need to do a CT and another surgery or whatever. But so we did that, and I got it all out. Everything was going great. Uh, that's At the same time, I had done research and I found I switched to the human grade food, so no preservatives. Um, and then I had been contacted by someone else that their dog had cancer, and they were using like a turkey tail mushroom and another mushroom
Hmm.
complex. So I had ordered those, the same ones they were using right away. And then I started doing my own research, and I was looking for an RSO CBD oil. And that's when I came across your company. And I had called and spoke with you. I got some CBD oil, the RSO. And then I started talking to you on the phone, and you started telling me about the other things that you had in that cancer kit. So I did
Hmm.
one cancer kit, and and you were like, give it a couple of weeks and then give me let me know what you think. And after 2 weeks, it was a noticeable difference. Um, I I could tell she was just a lot happier. She didn't seem to be in pain or anything. So I switched everything to those cancer kits, and the mushroom complex had everything I was already given her plus some.
Hmm.
And that seemed to be working really well. Uh, the pumpkin powder, I'm not sure if that's the only culprit, but it, it helped alleviate the soft stools. And, because she had an anal sac removed
Yeah.
where it was from. So she had some issues there. Um, and the probiotic and just everything, the RSO CBD oil, I think is making a huge difference in her lifestyle. So I was going back and doing every 3 months, getting a ultrasound done. And after 9 months, it had unfortunately remetastasized into her lymph nodes, but higher up, and it got into her muscle area up near her spine.
Hmm.
So I couldn't do another surgery, and I took chemo off the table because everything I had read about it. I mean, chemo can kill a dog on its own.
Yep.
So we did 5 weeks of radiation treatment. I had to do a pinpoint CT scan after I did the CT and found out it was there. Then we did a pinpoint CT scan so that when they did the radiation, they could pinpoint it wouldn't hurt other organs. And I had already had her on all this other stuff, and after doing that, they only gave her 6 months both times, and we hit 7 months, what that was in, oh, 2 months ago.
Hmm.
And her oncologist is just like, it doesn't seem to be growing at all. As a matter of fact, it shrunk. So she's like,
Yeah.
whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. And she knows all this stuff because I'm in there preaching it, like you got to start
Well,
getting.
thank you. Yeah.
So, you know, uh, it makes a huge difference. She's still, I mean, people see her and they're like, no way, she's got cancer. I'm like, yeah, she's had it for almost 2 years now. And they're just like,
Yeah.
man, she acts like a puppy, and she's getting ready to turn 12 in January. So, I, and I attribute it all to all the supplements that I have her on. I mean, I really do think it makes all the difference in the world in her attitude and her, being happy versus just laying around and being lethargic. She is not at all.
Yeah. Well, that's great to hear. I hear it a lot too, even, with dogs that go through surgery and everything else. And the trouble with surgery for a tumor like that is that it might spread the cancer cells around the dog's body. And using the CBD RSO tincture that causes cancer cell apoptosis, like it's going to prevent the spread of that cancer. But an anal gland tumor, those are difficult because a lot of the times they're blocking, excrement from leaving the dog's body, and they have a hard time pooping,
Yes.
and it's tough, right? So surgery a lot of times is the only option to clear that mass out of there, right? But at the same time, like you don't know if there's any other cancer in other parts of the dog's body. And that's where our supplements come into play, because it can go throughout your dog's body and target that cancer wherever it's at, right? And the side effects are nearly nothing. The dog will get better sleep, feel
Yeah.
better, so, and you see
She's,
that.
and they definitely, they said it even when I got it removed. It's not a matter if it's going to come back; it's coming back. They're like, it's just a matter of when. So we knew,
Yeah.
and after, after it did come back, they suspected it was probably already up in that muscular skeleton area, up near her spine, and
Yep.
because I bypassed the CT scan the first time because I just wanted to get it out, but I still think that helped tremendously. And like you said, their main concern was that anal sac tumor growing, and her not being able to go to the bathroom, and then having to put her down.
Oh yeah, because if she can't go to the bathroom, that's going to be even worse. And that's such a quick trigger, a quick time frame when that happens, and their quality of life is just horrible because of it. So,
and it is a horrible. I mean, when they told, they're like, this is not a good one to get.
yeah,
Fortunately,
we've got a couple customers that are dealing with that right now, and they're seeing shrinkage in the tumor. So yeah, but it's good to see the success from it. I'm glad, you and Irie's still doing well,
great.
she's acting like a puppy. That's just amazing. So
Yeah. And like I said, I attribute it to these supplements. I mean, she's doing awesome, and they're always amazed when I bring her in. Like, she's just such a happy dog. They're like, it's not coming, cause I'm already over 6 months, and that's what they kind of said. We're hoping to get you another 6 months after that. So
yeah, well, hopefully they say it again 6 months from now, and then again 6 months from then, and again 6 months from, you know what I mean?
fingers crossed. Yes.
Well, we have, I hear it a lot because I talk to a lot of people where their dogs have cancer, and they say, oh, the veterinarian said the dog has a month, or, a month or 2 months at the most, and it's like 6 months later, and they're so excited because the dog is doing great, still acting like a puppy,
Yeah.
My goal in life is to continue to prove vets wrong when it comes to canine cancer.
I know as a customer and the owner of a dog, I'm gratefully, I mean, I am so appreciative of everything you've done. I love the products. I mean, she's thriving from them. I'm a believer.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ryan, for coming on. I know we've got so many more pet parents that are just like, oh, I appreciate everything, but I don't want to be on video. So I appreciate your willingness to come on and talk about it. So thank you.
Anything that can convince somebody to give it a shot, I mean, if they have a dog with cancer, it's definitely worth a shot, because it has made a huge difference.
Yeah. And, I think that's a good point. It's like, what other options are out there when you go to a veterinarian and your dog has cancer? They say chemo and radiation, and that's it. So yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah,
Great advice.
I agree. It does make a difference. And the RSO, I'm pretty much, you know, I think that is why it is not growing back the way it was supposed to, because that is one thing I've kept in and I'm very religious about, and we
Yep.
experiment, you first told me, let's try the 3,000. And then I didn't feel like it was, and we went to that 10,000 because she weighed, at the time she weighed about 70, she did lose some weight, but she's also on that human grade food, which made a big difference.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I would, the anal sac tumor, that made a difference because she doesn't, they absorb a lot more of the nutrients out of that food.
Yep.
So between that and the RSO, the RSO though, I think is why that's not growing back. That's why they're so amazed, like that it hasn't come back at the speed that it normally does. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's that RSO and the mushroom complex, I think, are the key ingredients for her.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to get more veterinarians on board. We've gotten a couple traditional veterinarians, these guys are older and they've seen it year in, year out of dogs to go get chemo and radiation. And then the dog's quality of life just goes way down.
Yep.
So they're starting to implement our stuff and they're seeing success with it. If we can get more veterinarians on board, that'd be great. So, but yeah, I just looked and it looks like you've almost been a customer for a year. Like you ordered in January. So it's coming up.
So actually, it's been before that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So, well, because I started out with just the RSO because I was
Oh, okay.
things. So it was definitely in 2024 because I did the RSO fairly quickly because I started reading about it. Actually, I was reading about it with humans, where it had cured like cancer on their hands and stuff. And then I started diving into the animal portion, and that's when I found you. And so, but the cancer kits, yes, it's been probably a year since I started those kits.
Yeah. Well, we do have all of our human products too. We've got quite a few people. I just got a call today from a gentleman here locally who has prostate cancer, and he's been on our stuff for 2 months. And he just did scans, CT scan, and he had a fast growing cancer. They said it has not grown, but it hasn't shrunk. Right. So before it was fast growing, his PSA levels were increasing, and then now they've completely stopped increasing. So it's like in 2 months, we've shocked it to the point that it's no longer growing.
That's huge.
It is. It is. Yeah. So excited for him, excited for everything we're doing.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Ryan. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate you very much.